Hey guys, it's Albert. I want to talk to you today about a trailer that I saw recently for a movie called Beeba Boys. And this movie is about preppy Canadian Sikh gangsters. I know, right? Like, just wrapping your head around that idea is so weird. And that's why I love it. The movie's already playing for people who are lucky enough to be at the TIFF Film Festival. I didn't get it invited because they think I'm too awesome, so I'm going to sit here in front of my camera and tell you what I think of the trailer, not having seen the movie. But I think the trailer looks awesome. And it's mostly because of how weird this idea is. I don't know if it would translate well in the movie. I haven't seen it, don't know how well it comes across. But it just sort of blows my mind that we've never seen something quite like this before. We have scads of gangster movies. They come out almost every year, and they're either like set in the 1930s in the sort of classic gangster era, or they're modern-ish day with, like, you know, the mob. But they all sort of basically follow the same template with the same types of people. And I love that we're getting this just different thing. And the best part is, this is based on a real thing. There are actual Sikh Canadian gangsters that run around with the turbans and the brightly colored suits and apparently machine guns. I don't know if they're as fun as the guys look in this movie. Probably not, because gangsters tend not to be very much fun. But it's a really interesting take, and I think on a broader scale, it got me thinking about where we pull our ideas from. Because And I don't get on board with this sort of creativity train where everybody's like, they don't have any more good ideas, they just keep recycling the old ones over and over. I don't bash that too much because, you know what, we can still tell great classic gangster stories. You can still set something in the 1930s with the type of gangsters we all seen, and you can still tell a great story. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's so refreshing to see something that's like from a little bit different angle. And there are so many stories and cultures that we don't hear about or don't know anything about. We're Americans, right? So we barely know our own history. And then you look at other people's history and other people's cultures and other people's legends and stories that they tell. And it kind of blows your mind how much of this storytelling stuff and how much culture there is out there that we've been making as humans for thousands and thousands of years now. So I guess the idea that I'm getting at here is we gotta broaden our horizons. It's not that we can't keep making, westerns and gangster movies and sci-fi movies and all that stuff, but there's so much other interesting content out there. And I think somebody like Guillermo del Toro, right? He has all these what we'd say is like weird and crazy ideas. But the interesting thing is, I think he has an advantage because he's coming at it from a different cultural standpoint. He grew up in Mexico, right? So he has that, like, the vision of Mexican sort of culture that he then brings over, and he's also in the American culture, and he likes comics books, and he likes other stuff, and he's able to bring that extra different flavor. He has that advantage, and I think that to really, if we're interested in making interesting new content and new stories, which I do a little writing here and there, we gotta open our minds to stuff that's more than just what we see on an everyday basis. The history that everybody knows, the stories that everybody knows, there's other stuff out there. And it's not that hard to find if you're just willing to go look for it. So that's my challenge to you. Find out something about some other culture and other stories that aren't the same types that keep getting told over and over again. Go look at Japanese fairy tales. Or for that matter, go read the Grimm fairy tales that you've never heard of before. Because there's a whole lot more to them than Red Riding Hood, and holy crap, is Red Riding Hood weird. But even those stories are basically like, yeah, we cherry picked the ones that we really know about, and we leave the weird ones with the singing animal band that defeated the bandits. We don't talk about that one. Somebody write a story about the singing animal band that defeats the bandits and lives happily ever after, is what I'm saying. And also, Beeba Boys is a good trailer. That's what I got for this week. Leave a comment in the comment section if you've got something you'd like to share. If you like the video, hit the like button and subscribe if you want to see more like it. And I'll be back next week with something else.